We welcome you all to Olson Field in College Station, Texas. 12th Man Productions continues to bring you coverage of the 2008 College Station Baseball Regional right here on Fox Sports Net. Great to have all of you with us again. I'm Will Johnson alongside Alan Cannon. It is time for the championship game between the A&M Aggies and the University of Houston Cougars. Now, AC, U of H just completed a game earlier today that went in excess of 4 hours. It took 11 minutes. They beat Illinois Chicago to get to the championship round. What do they got to do to kind of beat that heat and get it off of them and get back to staying fresh for this game against A&M?
One thing you can count on from Rayner Noble, this ball club's going to get some fluids in them. They're going to come out ready to fight, and A&M will expect their very best. This is all about survival and advance. They survived, and now they're advancing to the championship game of this regional.
Well, Houston wants to extend the regional one more day. The Aggies want it to end right here. Championship day from College Station on FSN. It's championship baseball tonight from College Station, Texas. The A&M Aggies and the U of H Cougars. It's pretty simple after a long weekend of baseball. If the Aggies beat the Cougars tonight, they are the champions of the College Station Regional. They move on to the Supers next weekend with a shot at Omaha. For Houston, they need a victory tonight, and they have to couple it with another one tomorrow against Texas A&M, and it'll be they who advance. Will Johnson and Alan Cannon with you. We have just gotten underway. Kyle Colligan is your leadoff hitter for Texas A&M. Last night, these two met up here at Olson Field, and the Aggies really beat up on the Cougars 22-4. Colligan led the game off on the second pitch with a solo home run, and he has gone to the gap with the second pitch here tonight, but that will be run down by Zach Presley. So fireworks, a bunch of them last night by the Aggies, AC, and Kyle Colligan tried to get some going right off the bat in this game.
Colligan, an ideal leadoff hitter, really put a charge in the ball, but great jump by Presley out in center field. In the earlier game today, made several plays, very good speed for the Cougar defense out there in center field. If you're strong up the middle in baseball, you're going to have a chance to win.
Dane Carter has had a terrific year, and he hit one right at the shortstop. Had to go a little bit to his left, did Blake Kelso, but a well-hit ball, two of them already by Texas A&M. But Kelso able to come up with that one.
Will be interesting to see with that 4-hour and 20-minute game earlier this afternoon for Houston to survive. Jared Ray saw action on the mound in that ball game. See how loose he is coming out here, and if A&M makes him get deep in the count here early. I think 2 pitches to Colligan and first pitch to Dane Carter.
Yeah, Ray, your starter tonight for U of H. He worked the final 2/3 of an inning earlier today. The Cougars eliminated Illinois Chicago in 11 innings in a wild ball game. The final, Houston 14, Illinois Chicago 11, as it took extras. The Cougars could have ended that game much earlier. They had a 4-run lead heading to the bottom of the 9th, but they allowed 4 in that frame to take it to extras. Ended up getting the win. They play here tonight. It's the championship round. 2 are down for the Aggies. Jose Duran, the Big 12 Player of the Year, is at the plate. He and his .385 average. 66 RBI this year for Duran. First season at Texas A&M, a junior college transfer.
All-around player, average, pretty good pop.
Tries to go up the middle here. Nice play by the second baseman, Ryan Lorman, and Texas A&M goes 1-2-3 in the first inning. You're watching 12th Man Productions broadcast of the 2008 College Station Baseball Regional on Fox Sports Net.
Commitment creates champions. Dedication, perseverance, and teamwork are hallmarks of those who achieve. The NCAA is proud to say thank you to our corporate champions and partners who recognize the important role of athletics and education. By supporting them, you help us create America's champions for tomorrow.
Now, all chicken sandwiches are not created equal. Oh, there's plenty of good ones around, don't get me wrong. But when you add honey mustard sauce, cheese, and bacon to a What a Chicken, you get the new honey mustard What a Chicken sandwich. Now, if that don't put the zip in your doodah, I don't know what will.
What a burger!
Just like you like it.
The Big 12 online store is the fast and easy way to get all of your officially licensed Big 12 championship merchandise and team apparel. With a huge inventory of top brands, great customer service, and $4.99 shipping on every order, the Big 12 online store will get you ready for the big game. Go to the Big 12 online store today to get t-shirts, jerseys, hats, polos, accessories, and more. The Big 12 online store, where Big 12 fans get everything they need.
We work quickly through the top of the first. Texas A&M scoreless against Houston tonight. The Cougars designated the home team in this ball game. They'll come up with their first opportunity. Clayton Ellert is your starter this evening for Texas A&M. He's 6-2 this year with a 3.25 ERA and AC. This is game number 3 of the regional for the Aggies. Game number 4 for the Cougars, and just doing the math says Texas A&M probably a little better stocked with their staff.
Exactly, Will. That was the key thing about winning in the second round last night, the matchup between Houston and A&M, just to give your pitching staff a little bit of rest. Houston having to use quite a few pitchers this afternoon. Don't know if the reliever has loosened up again. First pitch strike here to leadoff batter for Houston, Blake Kelso. But you remember late in that ball game against Illinois Chicago, one of the top relievers for Houston took a ball off his left shin and was carried from the field, and I have not seen him down in the dugout.
You're right, Chase Dempsey. They wanted him to close that ball game out, but took a hard shot. May not see him tonight or tomorrow night if we needed it. Kelso, 289 hitter this year. Quickly down in the count against Ellert. No balls, 2 strikes. That pitch is high. You know, sometimes when a team is a 1 seed AC, they'll elect to maybe use a number 2 starter against that 4 seed in the first game. Rob Childress, he elected not to do that. It's the exact same weekend rotation you'd see with him as it was during the regular season. Strikeout to Kelso.
I tell you, Will, that's one of those gambles. If you happen to gamble and you lose, then you're really putting yourself behind the 8 ball. But here you see the strong fastball high and tight, up in the eyes. Kelso couldn't lay off and strike out. But you mentioned that most coaches, unless they really feel like they've got an advantage, there's some type of matchup, you better go with that ace on that first game and get you that W.
The Aggies, no matter who they've used thus far, they've gotten plenty of run support. Jake Stewart is your batter for the Cougars. Comes into this game with a 340 average. A&M scored 15 runs on opening night against Illinois Chicago in a 15-1 win. 22 runs last night in beating the Cougars 22-4.
So having to look up in the record books last night, a lot of the 1989 records, 25 runs scored against BYU in that 1989 regional held here at Olsen Field.
Gonna have to cover with the pitcher on this play, and Ellert does a nice job of getting over. However, they're gonna say he didn't touch first base. The runner, Stewart, will be safe.
See here on this replay, Anders roams over, makes the grab, shovels to Ellert.
And looked like he didn't make it, tried to kick it when he went by.
A lot of times like that, just the routine coverage. Bob Childress asking first base umpire, did you see it specifically, or will you check with the home plate umpire? Makes the call, stands.
Being listed as an E1 right now, error on the pitcher, Ellert, I believe.
With the feed by Anders, Ellert, the responsibility for him to make sure he tags the bag. So scorebook will read E1.
Here is Brian Pounds. Had a big 3-run home run earlier today for the Cougars in their win over Illinois Chicago.
Strong Cougar lineup. Kelso 289, then you go 300s all the way down until you get to Presley, who's right at it at 299. Pretty strong lineup.
This is chopped. This could be a 4 unassisted over to 3 double play, and it is. Blake Stoper turns it, and the Cougars are down in the first. We have no score after 1. You're watching 12th Man Productions broadcast of the 2008 College Station Baseball Regional on Fox Sports Net.
Start your weekend in the great outdoors with the Academy Outdoors Show this Saturday morning. Host Chad Brower brings you a multitude of exciting outdoor adventures from throughout the region. You won't want to miss a single minute of this award-winning show for the whole family to enjoy, featuring a variety of live-action hunting, fishing, and outdoor adventure trips each week. Right here, Saturday mornings at 8:30 on FSN Southwest.
Tonight on The Final Score, presented by DirecTV. Ken Griffey Jr. looks to join the elite ranks of the 600 Home Run Club as Junior's Reds host the Atlanta Braves. Plus, the surging Chicago Cubs try to make it 7 straight wins. They take on the defending National League champs at Wrigley Field. And a pair of division leaders square off at Tropicana Field. The White Sox visit the Rays. For all the day's highlights in 30 minutes, keep it right here. It's The Final Score.
I can't believe the speed of this thing.
You have got to think outside the box.
What's all that got to do with the world's tallest building? I'm mesmerized by this stuff.
Back to College Station, Texas. No score after an inning of play. The Aggies and the Cougars in the championship round of this regional. Get a look at Jared Ray. Closed out the Cougar win earlier today, going 2/3 of an inning. Gets the start here tonight. And he looks in at one of the best hitters thus far of this regional. Luke Anders starts off this inning with a base hit. He's absolutely on a tear with that single. Anders is now 6 of 8 in this regional.
A&M Consolidated High School product just goes right back up the middle, drives it out into center field for a base hit. The leadoff top of the second inning here at Olsen Field.
Anders has hit a home run in each of A&M's 2 games this weekend. Now it's Brian Ruggiano, right fielder for Texas A&M. Anders is going with the pitch and the throw down. He is safe. Anders this season, only 3 stolen bases, and he is an everyday player for the Aggies. Make it 4. Well, now we're got another conversation between Rob Childress and our home plate umpire, Jeff Head. Quickly, let's mention our umpires tonight. Head is behind the plate. Dennis McComb at first base. Barry Chambers at second. And Bryant Woodall over at third base. That's your umpire crew tonight. And for the second time in as many innings, we see Rob Childress wanting a conversation with our men running the ball game.
Believe what
Anders
they're saying.
Has been sent back to first.
Well, I believe what they're saying is interference on Ruggiano on the swing. That would be the only reason that Anders would be placed back at first base. Ruggiano would be out at the plate. Interference on the catcher trying to make the throw. It'd be interesting to see the replay. A lot of times, and especially we've seen it some ball clubs, the catcher, as he's throwing down to second base, will purposely lean into the hitter trying to draw that interference call, and the home plate umpires makes that call. Jeff Head and returns Anders to first base. So Ruggiano is out 2 unassisted. And Anders returns to first base and 1 out here in the top of the second inning.
Interesting turn of events, but we believe we have it sorted out. Along with Anders, this guy at the plate, Darby Brown, is one of the hottest hitting players in this tournament. We're going to try to turn 2 out of this. Brown has hit into a 4-6-3 double play. And the Aggies go quickly again in the second. There's no score going to the bottom of number 2. You're watching 12th Man Productions broadcast of the 2008 College Station Baseball Regional on Fox Sports Net.
No matter which road you choose, the Dodge Lifetime Powertrain Warranty has you covered. It's the best warranty in the business, and it comes standard on nearly all Dodge vehicles. No other company matches it. Not Ford, not Chevy, nobody. Dodge. Grab life.
There's a moment at night when all you want is fourth meal. Melty, crunchy, spicy, and grilled.
The Memorial Day sale at Ashley Furniture Home Store has been extended. Get more for your money. Now through Monday, get $100 in free furniture when you spend $600. Get $300 in free furniture when you spend $1,200. Or get $500 in free furniture when you spend $3,000. Plus, pay no interest till 2011. Everyone can use extra savings on furniture. Better hurry, though. This sale has been extended through Monday only. Ashley Furniture Home Store. You're gonna love this place.
No score, bottom of the second. First championship game of the College Station Regional here in 2008. Jimmy Cesario will lead it off for the Cougars. He hit a home run against A&M last night. Cesario 8 for 14 this weekend in regional play. That's a .571 average. So he's a guy you've got to be very careful with if you're Clayton Ellert or any other Aggie pitcher tonight. 1-0 to him. And he fouled this one out of play.
Good off-speed pitch there by Ellert, out away from Cesario. Gets his bat on it. Flips it over to the upper deck on the third base side. Pretty good breeze blowing out straightaway center field tonight.
1-1 is fouled off. That will also get out of play. Temperatures have been in the 90s throughout the weekend. They got to the high 90s during that U of H UIC game. And then it went 4.5 hours. And we were talking during that contest, AC, about, what's the mentality for the winner, which, of course, is Houston. And you mentioned that, if they can just get into this game a little bit and if it is scoreless for a little while, they'll forget all about that heat they played in earlier today. But if the Aggies pop up a big inning on them here soon, that could become a factor.
The momentum right now, Houston, Rain coach talking to him about, hey, you've now reached the championship game. Give it everything you've got left in your tank. And as long as it stays close, they're just going to play off that adrenaline.
Cesario has hit one well into left field, going back and making the catch on the track just in front of the wall, Brody Green.
Nice defensive play there by Green, going back. Ball carries well out in that direction. Cesario went with it, and just to the left of the 375 mark, Brody Green just kisses the wall slightly. One away here in the bottom of the second.
Now it's Ryan Lormond, who is also having a very good weekend for the Cougars. Hitting .500 in the regional, 7 out of 14.
I mentioned momentum. The deep plays that Houston has made thus far, the first 2 innings, just gives them more and more energy, turning that double play The great grab by the center fielder out there to get things started. That was Presley robbing Colligan early in the game.
That got right through the legs of Dane Carter at third base. That'll be an E5. Second error of the game for Texas A&M, and Lorman runs at first base with 1 out.
Just to mention momentum, mistakes like that prolong the inning can sometimes come back to bite you. And Dane Carter been nicked up a little bit, but Dane will be the first one to tell you he should have stayed down on that ball, made the play, the ground ball. And speaking of Mr. Presley, center fielder steps in.
From the left side. Well, the winner of this regional faces whoever comes out of the Houston regional. And just like this one, there's 2 teams left down there at Reckling Park, and they are Rice and Texas. Texas is in the same situation Houston is here. The Longhorns have to beat Rice tonight. Then they've got to do it again tomorrow. Rice, same situation as the Aggies. They're in the driver's seat. They only need 1 win. Last check of their game going on as we speak. It's the top of the 4th, and Rice and Texas are tied at 3.
The NCAA committee, we have throw down, but pretty good bluff there at first base by Lorman.
He retreated.
Drawing the throw. Ball outside to Presley. But the NCAA baseball committee didn't do the state of Texas a lot of favors, pairing up these 2 regionals with these caliber of teams that could make their way to Omaha. You talk about 4 teams that have the credentials to make it that far. And that pitch just off the outside part of the plate, falling behind 3-0.
In all, 8 teams from the Lone Star State made the NCAA field, but 3 of them are here, 3 of them are down in Houston, so 6 of them jammed up together, and only 1 of them could possibly get out of that mess and on to Omaha. Issued a walk to Zach Presley. The Cougars have a couple aboard without a base hit in the bottom of the 2nd.
Well, we mentioned momentum, and last night Texas A&M seized it early and extended the lead. Got the runs early in the game, kind of taking Houston and their fans out of it a little bit. Pretty good Houston contingent here tonight. But right now, A&M a couple of errors and not able to capitalize on their base hit in the top of the 2nd inning.
A&M jumped out to an 8-1 lead an evening ago, and the Cougars then got a 3-run homer to make it 8-4, but after that, Aggies rolled for the rest of the night. Included in that was a 12-run 7th inning by A&M.
Breaking pitch, Tully trying to hold off, and the appeal down the first base umpire, and Dennis McComb says he did not go around, so ball 1.
Tully's a .270 hitter. He started the earlier game today against Illinois Chicago on the mound for the Cougs. 1-0 will miss. 2 balls and no strikes. Wow. Ellert searching for the strike zone.
Aggie fans that are used to Aggie baseball under Coach Deggs, the offensive coordinator for Texas A&M. Houston and Rainer Noble, they like to put a lot of pressure on defenses with their speed as well.
A lot of stolen bases for the Cougars this year. Ellert sends one through the zone, 2 balls, 1 strikes. Brian Tully, the 7-man in this Cougar lineup.
Pitcher, you don't want to get in such a rhythm that runners on base can get that early jump. Both runners going at that pitch.
Got him to fist 1 foul, 2-2.
2-2, not a bad count to run on. Pitchers do not want to fall behind. So you expect a strike, and as a batter, try and put the ball in play. Good aggressive baseball, moving the runners as you put the ball in play, trying to find a hole there in the infield.
So 2-2 to Tully with a couple of Cougars aboard in the bottom of the 2nd. Ellert checks second base, now comes to the plate. That is a foul ball. Ellert this year, coming into tonight, 17th appearance, 13th start, 62 strikeouts against 24 walks, so that's not a bad ratio. Wheels around, looks at second. Lorman at second and Presley at first. They get their leads. They are off and running. The throw down to third base, and they got Lorman. Didn't even make a slide. Well played by the catcher, Kevin Gonzalez. Quick toss down there.
Presley, the runner at first base, just gets credit, move up to second base on the throw down. Caught stealing 2-5 Lorman, second out of the inning. And Tully has a full count here at the plate.
Well, still a man in scoring position for U of H, but not exactly the situation they wanted. Can Tully produce? 3-2. Ripped one into left. That is way back. And that ball is a saved home run! Oh, my goodness! Brody Green looks like he just brought one back. And it ends the third, or second inning. We're going to the third. No score. You're watching 12th Man Productions broadcast of the 2008 College Station Baseball Regional on Fox Sports Net.
The best of the Big 12 Conference is on Big 12 Showcase. Only Big 12 Showcase takes you on location every week for unparalleled coverage of all the athletic programs from across the conference. From the latest news and highlights to exclusive features and interviews, no one is more dedicated to the Big 12 than FSN. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Big 12 Showcase brings you year-round coverage you won't get anywhere else. Big 12 Showcase, Fridays and Saturdays on FSN Southwest.
The game is on. Learn to
leading off the top of the third for Texas A&M second base.
What a play to end the second inning.
Brody Green, you see, reach up above the yellow mark, above the left field wall, pulling that ball back across, saving the home run, which would have been a 2-run home run for the Cougars. Instead, third out of the inning. And into the box steps Blake Stouffer, Aggie second baseman, to lead off the top of the third.
Well, that doesn't follow the rules of baseball. The guy that makes the great play, he's supposed to lead off the next inning, but actually
he'll be
Brody
third
Green
up.
is due up third in this frame. So Stouffer, a fantastic season last year. Tapered off a little bit this year, but nonetheless a very integral part of this Texas A&M offense and has manned second base all season long. He's one of the guys that led Texas A&M to the cusp of the College World Series a season ago and to the Super Regionals. And you talk about someone who wants to experience Omaha. Definitely in Blake Stouffer, he wants to do that.
Great leader on this ball club. Grew up in San Antonio. And, as you say, had a chance. Was drafted in pro draft last year. Decided to come back to Texas A&M with wanted to taste that College World Series. Nice changeup right there by Ray.
If the Aggies can win tonight, he is that much closer.
Speaking of College World Series, 0-0 up in Oklahoma City. The Aggie softball team playing Florida.
Winner is eliminated from the Women's College World Series. The loser is eliminated. The winner goes on to the College World Series final, which starts tomorrow night. That's a best 2 out of 3.
Arizona State won their ball game tonight, so they're in that series. So
yes,
the winner between Texas A&M and Florida and Oklahoma City will face Arizona State in a best 2 out of 3 series, as you mentioned, starting tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. See the strategy here with the leadoff runner on first base.
Getting a big lead, and they went for him. He's sliding back is Stouffer. We talked about it earlier, though, AC. Good crowd on hand here tonight. We knew there would be with the Aggies playing, but we don't blame them if an A&M fan has one eye peeled toward Oklahoma City and seeing if the softball team can get to that national championship series.
Maybe watching television at home, have picture-in-a-picture. You know, you could have FSN here, baseball, and put the softball as the picture-in-the-picture. I don't have that fancy television yet.
You can do anything with your TV now.
That's right.
Kevin Gonzalez right at the third baseman. This could be two. There's one. There's the second one. Second double play of the night. Texas A&M has hit into.
Ground ball. Kevin Gonzalez, one hopper to the third baseman. A good feed there to second baseman. Excellent pivot by Lorman. 5-4-3 double play. 2 away here in the top of the third.
And now Brody Green, the man with the biggest defensive play in this game thus far. Brought back a home run in our last frame. Would have been 2-0 Cougars if it hadn't been for the beautiful save by Brody Green. Comes into tonight with a .288 average. 4 home runs, 24 RBIs.
We played 2 2/3 innings, and we have seen some outstanding defensive plays here on Sunday night.
A couple of double plays turned by the Cougars.
One Jared
Ray. Yep. Jared Ray, the Cougar pitcher, the beneficiary of a couple of those. He's trying to work as far as he can into this game. Get the Cougars off and running.
In particular, Houston, if Ray runs into any trouble, it will be a quick hook with Rainer Noble because you can't afford to let the Aggies extend the lead.
It's a 3-1 count to Brody Green right now with 2 down and nobody aboard. Go back to the top of the A&M order after Green.
Looking for your pitch to hit that you can drive.
Walked in. A runner is aboard with 2 down for the Aggies. Kyle Colligan will come to the plate last night. Colligan, 3 out of 6. 3 RBIs. He left the yard twice. So Jared Ray has to be careful.
Be interesting to see. You saw Luke Anders off and running back in the second inning. Got a new catcher, Austin Goolsby, behind the plate for Houston. Wallace had been the catcher for the Cougars earlier in this regional. He was involved in the collision at the plate with the UIC catcher, and so I don't know if he is nicked up as well.
If that's the case, it's unfortunate for U of H. Wallace had a heck of a game earlier today. Kyle Colligan hit by a pitch, and A&M trying to get something going here with 2 outs, although they this inning. Brody Green walked go, and now Colligan hit batsman.
A&M committing 2 errors thus far. Houston 0, but when you start putting runners on base via walk or hit by pitches, you're asking for trouble. We're going to get a visit here by the pitching coach for the Houston Cougars.
And Dane Carter is who's going to come to the plate for Texas A&M. He has really burst onto the scene this season. Coming into tonight, Carter, a .385 average, 8 home runs, 59 RBIs.
We mentioned Houston's lineup being solid. Texas A&M as well with this particular lineup. Colligan at the leadoff hitting .314, Carter .385, Duran .385, Anders .348, Ruggiano .320, and Darby Brown .343. That's 1 through 6 in the lineup. Then Stouffer, Blake struggled early in the year, but has come on in Big 12 play, hitting .256. Gonzalez, outstanding defensive catcher, hitting .266. And Brody Green in the 9-hole at .288. But we've already seen his defensive prowess out in left field.
Meeting on the mound comes to an end. Dane Carter ready to step in. Jared Ray ready to toss to him. Kirk Blount, University of Houston pitching coach, said all he needed to say. He returns. We have seen him a lot today. He's been walking in and out of that heat, and this is up the middle, but into the glove of the shortstop. And they're going to call Colligan out at second base. The Aggie crowd doesn't like it. Rounding third while all that happened was Brody Green. He thought he was going to score. However, the Aggies are turned away in inning number 3. We're going to the bottom of the third. No score. You're watching 12th Man Productions broadcast of the 2008 College Station Baseball Regional on Fox Sports Net. Well, we've seen some terrific defense already, and we're only in the bottom of the third here at Olson Field in College Station. No score. Texas A&M and Houston. The Cougars do up this inning with 8, 9, and 1. Caleb Ramsey, Austin Goolsby, and Blake Kelso. It's Ramsey here looking out at Clayton Ellert, and he has started off with a strike.
Bang, bang play out at second base to end the top of the third inning. If the umpire calls him safe, A&M would score a run because the runner was not hesitating coming around third and heading home.
And Brody Green kept charging wisely. A heck of a barehanded stab by Ryan Lorman. A 2-1 count meanwhile to Caleb Ramsey, the DH. That's laced back up the middle of base knock, the first one of the night for Houston.
Probably a situation here with Goolsby in the 9-hole hitting 195 and look for a sacrifice bunt situation. But Ramsey doing a good job just taking that ball right back up the middle. Base hit, first one of the evening for the Cougars.
Well, it was interesting, the decision was made by Coach Rainer Noble and the Cougars that this game, first pitch, was pushed back 45 minutes due to the length of our earlier game. And in between games, Houston elected to leave the park, did not take an extra batting practice, did not take infield. They just said we want to spend as much of that time resting and out of the heat as possible, and they really didn't take the field until about, I'd say, 15 minutes before first pitch. A few of them were tossing the ball around in the outfield, and then, hey, rushed out onto the field to play defense at the top of the first.
That's one of the cases in regional play, back with the different formats NCAA's had, but Texas A&M has done that from time to time, fighting their way back through the losers bracket. Matter of fact, last year here at the College Station Regional, having to losing in the second round to University of Louisiana Lafayette, having to come back, beat Ohio State, and beat Louisiana Lafayette in the first championship game to force that second one. And much in the same fashion, when you're playing that doubleheader, you're already hot, you're loose, not much need to take any infield or batting practice, especially the heat that we had this afternoon.
0-2 count to Goolsby. Was unable to lay down the bunt a moment ago. Ellert just kind of tossed one outside.